And I think more than any other profession, the practice of law is just tedious, and I don't mean that in like a negative way. It's just there's always a lot to do. There's a lot of research to be done. There's a lot of writing to be done. There's a lot of filing. It's very procedural. And so I mean that in a very literal, not a bad connotation sense, that it's very tedious. I have a friend who tells me about like what he gets done in a day, and it took him like 12 hours to do this one thing.
Mm-hmm.
That is just and big law takes so many people to get so much done, because that's just the nature of practicing law. So I think this concept of time management is really lost on a lot of attorneys, because that's just it's almost innate in the practice of law, is that you have to spend this much time doing this in order to get X product. So I want to talk about time management with you. And I know what I'm trying to say here is that it's an area where I see a lot of lawyers end up struggling. So what are the most common drains on attorney time that you've noticed? And I want to talk more about this work-life integration. So if you could explain more about that.
Sure. I don't know where to start. I mean, the lawyer's relationship with time has been messed up for maybe all time. And that's because it's all about racing the clock. Your value is attached to the clock. You have billable hours. And from a business perspective, there's not even an incentive to be efficient, because if you're efficient, you take money out of your pocket because you're not billing by the hour. And it sets up a conflict with the people who need value from us because they want us to be fast. So I think the real struggle with time is our relationship with time, and this thought that we can somehow manage it. We can somehow make it go faster, or we can outrun it, or we can, as you said, Nick, make things go faster. And the truth is that we can't manage time. All we can do, because it happens, right? The clock happens. There's nothing we can do to make it go faster or slow it down. But we can manage our relationship with time, the decisions we're making about our time, and how we manage our energy around time. So, the struggle that I see more and more, and 2020 was even on steroids about this, is just the distractions. Everyone's in a constant state of continuous partial attention. So many things are clamoring to get into our heads and in front of our eyes and in front of our ears. That's a huge drain to process that, and to process the stuff that comes up ordinarily in the lawyers' heads. A lot of them our colleagues are really smart and creative people. So how do you manage all of that information and prioritize, decide what's important? How to deal with your always on email box. I mean, we could talk for 2 hours about email, and that's before you even talk about texts and social media and Twitter and Instagram and all those other things. And then we think we're really much faster than we are. When I work with private coaching clients and we spend a lot of time on time management, I give them a challenge. I say, I give them a little template, and I say, keep track of how long things take you for the week. So how long did you expect it to take? And how long did it actually take? And why? And almost every single time, we're seeing that it just took longer than I thought it would, even if I wasn't interrupted. And then we find that interruptions happen, and sometimes they're really good interruptions, and sometimes they're self-inflicted. So that's the common drain is all the information trying to get in the top of the funnel and trying to make sense of it. And then other things make it worse, right? They can't delegate. We think multitasking actually works. I remember when I first started practicing in a small firm, you walk into a lawyer's office and there'd be stacks of paper, like from the floor up to like the level of the desk. And he would be, don't worry, I know where everything is. Well, today we've replaced that paper with digital paper. Sometimes not so much. So, and the whole work-life integration is about boundaries. The reason I like to talk about that is balance is almost a static concept, right? For you to be balanced, you've got to kind of be stopped and balancing between 2 points. And I think the work for lawyers is much more dynamic. So you're not trying to achieve perfect balance. You're trying to find a way that you are integrating, especially now working from home, the idea that, okay, I'm working now, and then I can slide out of that and go do something with my kids. And then I can slide back in, as opposed to this hard division of I'm either at work or I'm not. It's a little more of a challenge to do that, but that's kind of reality these days.